What's good? Yellow. Alrighty then. Apologies if I'm a little late or seem distracted this morning. I'm actually in a play already today. The play I'm in is ALVR. It was a pre-market runner, and they just had an FDA approval. I'm in at 650, and I'm hoping for, I'm hoping for a little Robin Hood open pre-market pop. I'm hoping for potentially for this to get picked up. If it breaks below resistance here, so I'll give it to like six. I'll probably give it to like 640. I bought it like right here. I'll give it. I hung in through this low, so I'll give it through this low. If it breaks through this low, I got to get out of it. It's a complete gamble. It's not looking, we'll see. Let me just add something real quick. On FDA regenerative medicine tag for Posolacel to prevent 6 virus in cell transplant patients. So this is going to be an in-hospital therapy type of treatment drug. I usually don't like biotechs either. They've just been what people buy. I mean, that seems to be people, people freak out on FDA approvals and shit like that. So, again, it's okay. We're 661 right now. All right, come on. But so apologies if that takes my attention this morning. All week we've been talking chip makers. Had a fantastic day yesterday. They're actually looking a little too good pre-market here, and it's kind of wigging me out a little bit how good QCOM's looking. But everything else is looking straight this morning, right? So, I mean, bonds are getting bought. Yields are down a little bit. 20 years getting bought. These, I mean, I think the 10-year might have hit a 3 handle yesterday. Not quite. It was close. The 30-year definitely hit a 3 handle yesterday. Which, crazy. So, bonds are finally catching a bid. And it's much needed. It was actually kind of weird yesterday, the move up in stocks, considering, Bitcoin hitting 42. Come on, Bitcoin. I'm in BKKT and Hive, so, I mean, these are a couple investments of mine, so weird that these are down pre-market with Bitcoin up 1.25%. So, but everything's showing strength. I mean, futures are up, bond yields are down, which means bonds are getting bought. The bond price is going up. Netflix was the big loser. All right, I might have to cut this, guys. This is looking sketchy here. Netflix was the big loser. I'm just going to keep this on so I can keep an eye on the level 2, see where size is coming in, make sure I'm getting no big selling pressure here. Somebody's trying to get out at 659 and 660. My target on the upside would be in the sevens. AMD catching a nice candle. In Bitcoin, flirting with that 42, but wants to stay above. So Bitcoin has been showing strength. It's a great sign. Bitcoin's looking good. Trying to make sure there's not a super glare. Ooh. All right, I'm over 10 cents down on this now. I got to I mean, it's moving. That thing's trading. That thing is trading. So we just got to see. I mean, awesome job from the chip makers this morning. Awesome. I mean, all week really from the chip makers. Netflix was a big loser last night. Netflix is down 27% this morning. So Netflix, their revenue was okay. Let's take a look at their. They had some price targets cut to 405 from 640, so that's a big downgrade. And Netflix did all the things that they said they would never do, right? They talked about potentially having to, maybe go to an ad-based subscription and versus a premium subscription. They talked about cutting out-of-house logins, or upping a charge or upping a fee for out-of-house logins. So a 27% loss in Tesla was a $40 billion paper loss. Stock dropping like that was $40 billion. Poof, gone. Crazy. Trying to get the actual number from Netflix here. There's just a ton of news on Netflix, so bear with me. The big thing for Netflix was their subscriber loss. It was the first time in Netflix history they had a subscriber loss. But hey, if you're watching and you've taken an interest to the chip makers, congrats. If you've taken an interest to Bitcoin, congrats. Now, scares me a little bit this morning that it's being so good, but the futures are cooperating, right? Bonds are cooperating. Bonds are down a little bit. The yields are down a little bit. Prices up a little bit. So bonds finally caught a bid this morning. And the futures are up. We'll look at the futures while I try to find these Netflix numbers. And so we've talked about these levels. The good part about yesterday is the futures reclaimed these levels early and chilled and stayed above these levels. Had the futures reclaimed some of these levels and dropped, I'd have been worried. But, yesterday was a nice day. We had a nice run up in the morning, and then it just chilled out at the highs all day. And that's to be expected during earnings season. It was fairly low volume yesterday. I think April is a historically low volume month. So this is good. We want to see this hold above 1400. And then the ES, I want to see this holding above 4400. If this could get to 14.5, that would be kind of bullish in my opinion. If the ES could get to 4,500, that would be good in my opinion. So the NQ is down, the ES is up. So this is what a lot of investors and traders track as far as the futures for the S&P. It is the ES, the E-mini S&P 500 future. And it's holding nicely. That's good. That's what we want to see this morning. We'll just check the oil futures. Oil up a little bit this morning as well. And oil could be popping up on, if we get data from China reopening. I think that's what really kind of limited the oil pop was fears that China lockdown would affect oil demand. I am trying to get these Netflix numbers here. All right, Netflix posts Q1 revenue is 7.86 billion versus a 7.9 billion estimate. So it was a miss on the revenue estimate. EPS was 353 versus expectation of 292. So overall, it seems like they were still making money, but I want to see how many subscribers they lost, because that was the main reason for them tanking. I think it was 200,000 subscriber loss, where they were expecting a 2 million subscriber gain, I believe. Nice. So I am in ALVR this morning. They got a FDA patent news about 25 minutes ago, and it's nice. It's nice. Catching some bids right now. That's good. I want to see that. Actually, yeah. Looks good. All right. So let's wake the body up a little bit this morning. Go ahead and just tap around, wake up some of these cells, tap the forehead, eyebrows, cheekbones, jawbones, tap these glands right below the jaw, tap the glands in your collarbone, tap the glands behind the ears, behind the head, tap some of these glands in the chest. Just go ahead and just wake up any dormant cell in the body. Stand up and shake it out if you need to. That used to feel good. Take a deep breath. Do a little stretch if you have space. Stand up, do a jumping jack. AMD, oh my God, what is going on here? Pre-market pop. Big time. Bitcoin popping too. What in the world? Might just have to cut this. Everything else is catching a bid here this morning. Um, Still going. I mean, 3 really good volume candles right there for AMD. 2 really good volume buy candles. I mean, everything. Qualcomm was already up pretty nicely, so, but I mean, still. Little pop and drop, that's to be expected. Traders want to ring the cash register in this environment. That's fine. Good. Come on, ALVR. I'm gonna hang in there with you. I'm gonna give you till 640. Man, I really wish I had put a little bit to work on Zim early in the week. Um, it's just done. I mean, Zim has been super. I think Zim has been one of the strongest stocks of the week, and Phillips 66 has been incredibly strong this week. I mean, pre-market is popping right now. Um, so, I mean, let's just see if we can get an idea on the level 2 here. I mean, I don't know, y'all. I mean, it almost seems too good to be true. Like these gains in the pre-market could present short or selling opportunities. So, I'm always kind of an inverse stock trader. Like, things seem too good to be true, they are. Things are up. Uh, that's the interesting thing right here. Take Apple out of the equation because that's kind of in its own little world. But I mean, AMD is still below 100. Qualcomm still below 145. I mean, AMD was a $165, $185 stock last year. Qualcomm has hit 185 easily this year. And I think they can easily get back there. I might have to cut this little ALVR. It's just not working. What's crazy is it's got a $30 price target. Good. Keep the news stories coming. Keep them hitting the wire. I mean, price target cut to 30 from 32. I mean, that's I don't know if this is a company that has potential to get bought out. So I've been watching some of these biotechs. Just because they just pop, they just run. Gotta give the glory to God. I got somebody watching. Praise the Lord. If you're watching, let me know what you're investing in. Let me know what you like. If it's the chip makers, God bless. I need to diversify, but these chip makers are what I like to invest in. for a lot of reasons. Go back and watch some of my previous videos. I've explained why I like AMD. Especially we got their earnings coming on the 27th. Qualcomm earnings are next week. AMD will be the first earnings since the Xilinx merger acquisition. So I'm expecting a big revenue number. And AMD's got a lot of catalysts that it can provide ahead. I expect a dividend payment for AMD coming in the future. They've got a massive share buyback program installed. They are working on some quantum computing technology. So love AMD, love Qualcomm. They're big into cell phone, 5G, the Internet of Things, and then love TSM because their silicon wafer technology is head and shoulders above the competition. Intel even has to use Intel makes their own silicon wafers, but their technology isn't as good as TSM's, so they've got to even use TSM silicon for some of their production. And I'm probably gonna have to cut this here. This is looking shitty. I'll give it like 1 or 2 more cents, but these biotechs seem like a good idea when they get FDA approvals and all this shit, but I don't know. Looks like I thought I was, doing okay buying a little dip, but who the heck knows? All right, let's see if anything else is gapping up this morning. Oh, you can't even see this. I've got a little a gap scanner down here. I mean, everything is straight upside here in the pre-market, which makes me nervous. These are still at good levels. I'm not going to cut, I'm not going to sell my chip makers like Qualcomm or AMD. I'll just let them work. If they drop, I might have to shuffle some things around to buy some more, but I'm good with everything. This biotech here in the top right chart box is it's the only real investment this morning that I just jumped in trying to play a FDA approval. They got an FDA approval for regenerative medicine tag approval for patients undergoing cell transplants. I mean, people are buying above my average too, which is good. My average is right here, 650. So somebody's buying it there. I'll hang, but gonna have to catch a bid or cutting bait. But everything else is looking good pre-market. Everything else is looking good pre-market. One thing I did want to talk about was Disney dropped in a sympathy play with Netflix yesterday. And I don't know why. I guess it's just streaming services. All streaming services were like, oh, let's take a hit. Amazon, Disney, what are our other streaming services? Apple, although Apple's in its own little world. So we exclude that. But Amazon, Disney. Whoa. That is just triggering some of those stop losses there. Look at that. Boom. Wick down to the pre-market lows and right back up. I don't know if that's a mistake, something going on with that, but oh man. I'm gonna have to go to work soon. And Bitcoin holding up nicely this morning. So some of your Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin exchange coming back from down pre-markets. So This is nice. This is good. But anyways, it's still not a bad time to start a long-term investment portfolio. Start small, but buy a share of something. Own something. Own something that you think is going to be around for 10 years. The next stock that I'm looking to long-term invest in is Zim. I've seen their containers here in Charleston a lot recently. They've been on my brain. I've been looking at them for a couple weeks now. I should have bought them earlier in the week when it was trading at 55. Kind of missed the boat. They're a big dividend stock. They pay a really nice dividend. They pay $2.80 per share per quarter report, and then they also pay out a yearly dividend based on how strong their revenue was for the year, which last year they paid a $17 a share extra dividend, which is wild. And they were $55 earlier in the week. So I'm gonna have to wait for a pullback though. I want them, I'm not gonna buy this at 60, although it was a $75 stock just 3 weeks ago. The next pullback in the market, the next pullback in transports, Zim is a transportation stock. They're a overseas bulk carrier, and the next pullback that we get in transports, I really want to get a transportation stock. I got to diversify from just investing in these semiconductor chip makers. But I've been preaching. The three stocks that have been in my title all week: QCOM, AMD. Oh yeah, go ALVR. Ah, shit. Anyways, the stocks that have been in my titles all week are doing great. 2 weeks in a row now, I've had great stock picks in my titles all week. Last week was TSM, knowing they're going into earnings. I invested in them long term, so I'm not, I wasn't pulling it out, but it was a great weekly investment. And then in my title all week this week has been QCOM, AMD, and TSM, and they've had great starts to the week. But we'll see. We've got Tesla earnings tonight. You know what we might have had this morning? I think we had ASML earnings. We sure did. And that's probably what's bringing up some of these other chip makers, is we had ASML earnings. And we're going to check those earnings. ASML is a chip maker. So they missed, I guess. But the stock's still up. Okay, they beat. I don't know what that symbol is. That's some other... Oh. Okay. I don't know what that symbol is. That's some other country's dollar denotation. I don't know what that is, but barely beat. Revenue of $3.5 billion in whatever currency that is. It don't look like a dollar symbol. how was their forecast? That's what we need to find out. What was their guidance? Oh, the euros. That's a euro. That's the euro symbol. Duh. So they're guiding higher, it looks like. Continue to grow around 20%. So Peter Wenick. Sounded a little bit like my last name. Warnick. Wenick. So this might be why some of the chip makers are up this morning. And that makes sense. You know, you see all these names green, and when the chip makers are up, a lot of these companies are billion-dollar companies, right? So they have heavy weights on the indexes, and when your chip makers are doing well, the NASDAQ is typically going to be doing well. So this is good. But again, I get a little worried when everything is doing a little too well. But today could be good, right? So Tesla, if we look at what Tesla historically does for earnings, typically Tesla has a nice run up into earnings and then drops. And that's just kind of how Tesla trades. Let's see if I can. Why is it? There we go. Give me the full screen. All right, so Q1 earnings, and Q1 was a great earnings report for them. Drops. I need to keep it on daily, but let's go to let's just look at every earnings from last year, I guess. So they ripped off that earnings, and that was This was their Q4 where they had record delivery. And then, yeah, this will be their earnings report from Q1 headed into Q2. So they dropped after this one. Went up after this one. Went up after this one. Dropped after this one. Pop or drop on Tesla earnings tonight is the question. I know one thing Musk has mentioned is supply chain troubles. So while it could be definitely record deliveries, possibly maybe they'll beat this $17 billion revenue that they posted from Q4. But I expect the speak and the rhetoric of difficulty sourcing lithium, sourcing some of these metals to produce these batteries. We've seen these hinted at by Musk. He's talked about having to bring in their own mining to mine the metals for their batteries, as well as other supply chain issues, right? So, aluminum, steel, all this stuff is difficult to get right now, and we've even seen Tesla had to stop selling their chargers with their new cars because I think supply chain issues. Because if they had to have a charger with the car and you don't have the charger and you got to sell them together, it's like Chevy. I talked about earlier in the week. Chevy's having to sell their cars and trucks without sunroofs because they can't get the chips quick enough to put them in the cars to make a sunroof, so they've just foregone the sunroof so they don't have to get extra chips. Same thing with like the electric fold out running boards. They've had to they couldn't put these electric fold out running boards on there because they require semiconductors that they can't get. So instead of delaying car sales, they'll just push the cars out without sunroofs, without the electric fold-out running boards, and keep it moving. And I expect that's probably what the deal was with some of this stuff about not selling the cars with the home chargers anymore. Weed ETF comes out today. WEED. Huh. I don't know. We'll have to see about that. I mean, this thing is just barely hanging on. I don't love it. I may just take a, oh no, I might have to just take a loss. Maybe I'll just wait till it pops back up right above 650 and just cut it, because maybe I'll just break even and wash it off the books. But everything's looking good. We'll just take a look at the futures one last time. They're all popping up, and I expect the pops we had in Apple, the pops we had in the chip makers are bringing the Nasdaq future up a little bit. But this is good. Futures are up. Crude oil and Brent crude is also up. Natural gas is also up. But it's down from where it was earlier in the week. Natural gas hit an 8 handle earlier in the week, which is crazy. Everything's kind of up this morning. Wheat futures are up. I don't know about corn futures, but I'd expect those to be up too. So, and bonds should be getting bought up this morning too. I believe TLT was up pre-market. It was up a little bit more, but TLT is still up pre-market. And this is good, right? We want to see bonds being bought. We want to see, Bitcoin up, which is nice. Green pre-market does worry me slightly because it presents selling opportunities, and it presents opportunities for day traders to look short. So be careful. And that's probably going to about do it for me. I will probably be talking chip makers all day this week. We'll get we'll look at Tesla. Earnings for Tesla is tonight. I would expect. Now, it'll just depend on how today goes. If we get a really good day, we could rise and fall, but that'll do it. I no longer have my one viewer anyway, so thank you for joining me, one viewer. If you watch this later, I'll be here every morning. Please like and subscribe to the video, and God bless. Give the glory to God. Be in servitude of others. But most importantly, tune in for yourself. You cannot help another person. It's like the saying of on a flight where you must secure your own mask before helping others. So before you can help anybody else, you must help yourself.